See that you all are doing okay. I'm just gonna kind of assume that you are, but share my little mug here. This is my "It Had to Be You" mug that my mom got me um, a few years ago when I went to the gospel music workshop. It was the name of one of the songs, the song that I was presenting. Hey, Ez, what's up, dude? We need to talk, dude. I wanna follow up with what we talked about before. So definitely, let's holler. All right. Um, and of course, I'm listening to my gospel jazz radio on the Jazz Radio Network, which is awesome. Um, and you know, I don't think I'm gonna probably be too long today, but there's one thing that I want to do that is kind of fun. So anyway, let me go ahead and jump in. Hey, Tanya, how are you doing? Um, so, so first of all, happy Black History Month. As I'm just gonna say that all month long. And honestly, for me and probably a lot of other folks, it's Black History Month every month, but but we call special attention to it this month, so that's cool. Um, so um, I'm starting an hour earlier than normal because tonight is going to be a broadcast. I hope y'all will check it out. It's called The Black Church, and it's a special broadcast by Dr. Henry Louis Gates, who was a professor at Harvard and a very well known and well published and well documented historian. He's also the one who did a lot of those broadcasts tracing famous celebrities' history. I know he did like Oprah Winfrey and T.D. Jakes and a bunch of other very popular people, tracing their history as far back as they could find. So today he's doing a series called The Black Church, and I definitely want to watch it. But also, my good friend Dr. Patrice Turner is in it. I'm not sure exactly what she's going to be doing, but she's a wonderfully talented singer and pianist. So I just want to go and support her. So I moved my broadcast up by an hour. So I hope that y'all will check that out too. It's called The Black Church, and it comes on tonight at 9, at least Eastern time. So that's happening. Oh, and if I didn't say, she's the musical director at Ebenezer Baptist Church, the historic church that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Dr. Vernon Johns were both pastors of years ago. So, and now that was pastored by a brand new senator from Georgia, Dr. Raphael Warnock. So, the greatness continues. So it's a wonderful, wonderful church, wonderful ministry. Now, this week, I usually just kind of recount events that are going on. But even before I do that, I hope you guys are doing okay. And definitely, in the chat or whatever you have, just send messages to let me know how you're doing, what's going on with you. Tanya, I hope that that sales are still good for you. And as I know you stay busy. So, just keep on keeping on. I hope that you guys are staying warm. It seems to be like a lot of really cold weather and snow and all that kind of stuff going on. So, so just be safe and be stay inside if you possibly can. Sister Gladden, hi there. How are you doing? So, this past week, I had a good conversation with, I'll go ahead and call him a new friend, Brother Terrence Richburg. He's a bass player who also specializes in gospel jazz, who's based in the Maryland, D.C. area, and wonderfully talented bass player, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, comes from a musical family. And he, like me, has a passion for gospel jazz. And so we had a good conversation this past week, and we're supposed to talk tomorrow too. And I really believe what the scripture says, that, one can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10,000. So when you put when you put your heads together, I think some incredible things can happen. Dr. Will Griffin, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you on here. Thanks for joining. Wonderfully talented musical director there and member of the Gospel Music Workshop Richmond chapter. So I'm excited about that. There's also this coming Saturday, I'm going to be. So this is an off week, so I won't be doing Friday Night Inspiration this week. I want to get it ready for next week. But this coming Saturday, I will be doing my Saturday sentiments, and my topic this week is the halfway point. And by that, I mean it's been a little over 6 months since, more than 6 months since I started this project, The Jazz in the Spirit, and released it on Juneteenth of 2020. And you all know that I have had a goal of reaching 10,000 units sold, downloaded or streamed by the 18th of June 2021, which is just a few months away. And so the halfway point is, just kind of talking about what the journey has been like so far. I'll probably get into some numbers too, but the point is less the numbers, and the point is more about the journey and what it's been like, the ups and downs and all arounds. And I'm hoping that it can also be an encouragement to anyone else, including any of you who might be on here, who want to begin a project that's bold and daring and hopefully impactful, beyond just yourself and what you can do. Because I've always emphasized doing not just something for ourselves, but doing something for others, and that's what Jazz in the Spirit is all about. So it's going to be more that I'll say about that, in the next couple of months. But just so you know, Saturday I'll be doing the halfway point. That'll be my next live at 11 o'clock on this coming Saturday. So that's coming. And then looking back to last week, we had I was on an interview for Currents News, which is the news TV news station of the Brooklyn Archdiocese, Catholic Archdiocese. And so they had interviewed me on Juneteenth of 2020 when my album first came out, and they were following up with me to see how things were going and to get an idea of what I was doing for Black History Month, etc. So I told them, and I'm telling you, that for this month, I'm beginning to highlight a particular song over the course of the month. So for this month, I'm highlighting the song By and By, which is my version of Charles Albert Tindley's original song, We'll Understand It Better By and By, from 1905. And it's been going well so far, but I got to talk about some of the story of that song on the interview, and it's available on YouTube, and I believe it may be on Facebook as well, but definitely YouTube. Just you can just enter Currents News, and I believe I put it on my YouTube channel as well, which is Jazz in the Spirit Video. So feel free to go check that out. It was great, and I got to talk about something that's coming up too, which is at the end of this month, I'm going to be returning to Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Richmond to serve as their guest for a mass that's specifically dedicated to Black History Month. I mean, they do it for the whole month of February, but I'll be there on the fourth Sunday, and that'll be great. I think this will be about the fourth time I've done it, and they keep inviting me back. It's a great fellowship, and so I was able to talk about that on the interview too. So I think it's important that we recognize that particularly music has a way of bringing us together, even across what seems like a cultural divide sometimes, or religious divide and different things. And I really don't feel like there's even really a divide. For me, not the way I view it. I've played for Catholic churches before, and it's no problem at all. But that was, it was a great opportunity to do some sharing, as well as embracing of the culture that I come from, and that I'm very proud of and happy to be born into. Because I really feel like that's how we make the world better, when we learn to share each other's experience, not trying to be like you and you're not trying to be like me. We're different. God made us different, but we complement each other, and the diversity is what creates the beauty. So like I said, this was a great opportunity to do that. And if you get a chance to check out that interview, I did a little playing at the end too. So then there's going to be, like I said, I'm going to talk about By and By all this month. And there's something that I want to share with you all about By and By in a little while. But I also have a new email address I've been talking about. It's called People Who Make a Difference at jazzinthespirit.com. You can write it down, or you can go back to the video later and just write it down. But that's going to be the email address that I use to reach out to fans, supporters. That's what I'm calling you all. I'm calling you people who make a difference, because I believe that you are, and I want to encourage anyone who follows Jazz in the Spirit to become a person who makes a difference. So that the choice of name is intentional, but that will be a way that we disseminate information via email to everyone, and sometimes it's a little bit more direct of a way to reach people than, hoping that they'll get on social media from one day to another. So especially folks that have, reached, or who have not grown up on social media, I'll say. So we want to reach out to everyone that we possibly can. So there is this would be a good time to do it, because it is Black History Month. So this is actually a part of my history now. Back when I was 19 years old, we're talking about 1989, y'all, going way back. That was just after I had talked about my little midlife crisis at 17, where I had to really figure out what I was going to do next and all that. Well, 2 years later, I tried my very first recording, and I only raised my eyebrows because, it was a humble beginning. It was a very humble beginning. And I don't mind saying, like that song, started from the bottom, now we're here. Well, it was I think it was a cassette that I did. It was called The Saxophone Sings of Zion. And, the idea was I basically had the concept of the kind of stuff that I'm doing now, but it just wasn't as developed. So what I was doing was just kind of taking hymns primarily, but I also took some original songs and I recorded them. But I didn't have like studio equipment. I had these two little tape recorders, and I would sit them right next to each other. And then each time I would add one more thing onto it. So I'd start with the drums, and then tape that up onto the other tape recorder and add the bass, then tape that onto the next tape recorder and add the keyboard. And so over the time of all that taping, you get this hum in the background that's, kind of annoying if you listen to it by today's standards. But I only do that because I wanted to share with you the early version of By and By, which has given the idea for what it is today. So I'm gonna play that one first, and I'm gonna let you all hear the by and by of today. So just letting you know in advance, there's gonna be a little hum, so just forgive me. But I want y'all to try to hear the arrangement, hear what I was doing back then, and so you'll get an idea of what was going on when I was 19. All right, here we go. Yeah, turn the record down a little bit. There's a little bridge. You gotta have the vamp part, right? Yeah. So it's like again, sorry about the hum, but you got the idea. It is now a historical artifact, not from the 1920s, from the late 1980s, but still, the technology that I had was pretty primitive by today's standards. But I hope you at least got a sense of the arrangement and the song, and that at that time the song was really, really strong in my consciousness because, again, that whole traumatic experience of 1987 was still very fresh in my mind. And, so I think that was a summer project that I did, maybe going back into between the end of my sophomore year at Brown and the beginning of my junior year. So it was, I was trying to just raise some money so that I could just kind of pay for some books and different things before I went back to school. And it was $5 for a little, but the cassettes, those cassettes were not cheap. I used to go down to New York folks would know what I mean. I'd go to there's this wholesale district in the 20s in Manhattan. I used to go there and get a box of cassettes for like 10 cassettes for like maybe $10 or something like that. And so I would run these, the old dubbing thing that you do. So I ran them off, and God bless the folks at Concord. They bought them from me. I think one of my friends told me she still has hers from 1989. So I really appreciate the support, and you just never know what it's going to lead to. So whenever you get a chance to help a young person out, or, somebody who's just trying to do something, encourage them, because it really does make a difference. Now, having said all that, this is the by and by of today, that is based pretty much on that arrangement, with some changes, of course, based on some things that I learned. But this is the by and by of now, with myself on sax, Mr. John DiMartino on piano, who was known for playing with Bobby Sanabria and some other folks, great pianist in the New York area. Mr. Dan Freeman on the upright bass. That might have actually been the last time he played upright bass, because he mostly plays electric, and now he's gotten known as an Ableton expert, and he does a lot of performances using an electronic instrument. And then Mr. Dwayne Cook Broadnax, who is still actually playing for Concord Baptist Church in Brooklyn, and wonderful jazz drummer, Berkeley alum. He was there some years before I was, and from Philadelphia. And Dwayne, one of the big things he did was he was Little Jimmy Scott's drummer for a long time, but he's played with a whole bunch of different folks. So it was a nice ensemble. So this is the by and by from my album. Sorry, let's start from the top. How about we find the song? How about that? There we go. Same chorus. Now here comes John DiMartino. So smooth. Yeah. Now we do a little back and forth. Now check out Dwayne. Yeah. Yeah. And here comes Dan on the bass. Yeah. Absolutely. And the message still rings true to me just as much now as it did back then. There are certain things that I still don't understand that still don't make sense to me. But, the Lord's just going to have to show me after a while and by what it all means. But it's a comforting song. It still brings me a great deal of joy. And so I'm just happy to share it with y'all. And, I hope that y'all enjoyed it as well. So feel free to, give me any kind of feedback or anything like that. One of the other things that's really funny is that, not funny, but you just never know how relationships are going to function. But Dan, who played the bass on that song, is a Harvard alum. That's where I met him when I was up at Berkeley. And I think this was maybe, I had graduated in 94. And I was playing for a church up there, Massachusetts Avenue Baptist Church, and which is right there in Cambridge, which is, that's the part of Massachusetts where Harvard is. And Dan was playing bass for that church. And so we got to know each other then. And we both wound up moving to New York shortly thereafter. And he actually introduced me to someone else who became a very, very close friend, Sticks Bones, who's the drummer on most of Jazz in the Spirit. In fact, Wednesday Afternoon and By are the only songs that he didn't play on because Dwayne played on them. But yeah, so you just never know, how lives are going to intersect. That's why it's important to be nice to everybody. But it was just a real blessing, having those experiences and getting, having him be able to participate on this album, because we don't get to see each other too much anymore. He's traveling all over the place, and when you have a family and everything, it just life starts to take you in different directions. But we'll always be friends. And, and so I'll always have his contribution as a part of this recording, as well as Sticks, who, he introduced me to. So that's a wonderful thing. So that's the By and By for today. and By from 1989. So I'm just excited to be able to, that I still have that recording to even be able to share it with you all. And I hope that y'all enjoyed it and got a chance to see a little bit of my story. So getting ready to head out, but just want to remind you one more time that this coming Saturday, I'll be doing my Saturday sentiments, and we'll be talking about the halfway point. Still going to be talking about By and By. I'm talking about By and By all month long. And we're going to do some publicity on it too with my publicist, Andrea Renee Williams. And so hopefully, hopefully we'll get a write-up or two in there, and maybe some features. I'll keep you posted, of course, but I could definitely continue to use your help in terms of letting people know about this album, about the goal, what we're trying to do, which is to, create more opportunities for all gospel jazz artists by showing that there is a documentable, verifiable audience for this music that you can actually see based on what happened during the course of this year. So, so that's why I can, continue to need your support. I'm just going to be saying the same thing over and over as far as that goes, which is continue to support the album, let your friends know about it, let other people know about it, so we can, raise the awareness of this music, because there are too many wonderful artists like Mr. Ezra here, who's a fantastic drummer. There's a lot of talent that's kind of flying under the radar that a lot of people don't get to hear. Even a bunch of the folks that are on this radio station, probably folks don't even get to know who they are. This particular song is a lady named Karen Grant. It's a song called Decisions, which I had never even heard of before, but it's nice, it's like a little reggae groove, got the message there and everything. So, this is a 24-hour station, so they have stuff going on all around the clock, which I appreciate, because anytime I'm in the mood to listen to some gospel jazz, it's there as a resource. And so I would love to see them, shared on a larger platform, like, maybe Sirius XM or one of the other, or Music Choice on TV or something like that, so that everybody can get to them pretty easily. And I think in that way we can expand our audience to a much larger platform. So, it'll take work, just like anything that's worth doing. It takes work. But I also want to say a special hello to all of my new friends. I got some new followers on Instagram. There's been a bunch of them, maybe in the last 2 weeks. What's up, cuz? How you doing? That's my boy, my cousin, Juice Man. What's up, man? We've gotten a lot of, I'd say maybe 20 new followers in the last 2 or 3 weeks, from places like Japan and Europe, China. I'm not exactly sure where everybody's coming from, because they don't always put it up there. But I'm just kind of, guessing, maybe based on the way the name is spelled or something. So, and I could be very wrong, but folks that have just been checking me out recently, let's correspond. Send me some messages. Let me know, because they, people have liked the videos. They've, kind of liked the, or started to follow me or something like that. But, and they have other things to contribute too. I've listened and heard some of their music, and I really enjoy it. So, let's make this thing international, So thank you for all of you who have started to follow me lately. Let's keep it going. I think I'm maybe up to about 480 something followers on Instagram now, which before I would have never even imagined. I always thought Instagram, that's for like my son's generation or something. I never really messed with it too much, but you do what you got to do. You're an independent artist. So, but it's been great. It's been great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on my way. And I encourage you all to watch The Black Church at 9 if you possibly can. This is my friend Dr. Patrice Turner is going to be featured on there, and of course Dr. Henry Louis Gates from Harvard University is the kind of the sponsor of the show, and he's done a lot of great work, especially that is featured in this month. So we have to support the folks that are allowing our story to be told and to be heard. The old adage, for us, by us. It's important that we tell our own story and, not wait for somebody else to tell it. So I definitely encourage you all to do that. And I'm going to be on my way. So thank you for watching. And Tanya and Brett and Ezra, Will and Sister Gladden, and who else is on here? If I missed anybody else, go ahead and let me know, because I know some folks watch, but they don't want me to call their name out, so they don't say anything. But to all of you, thank you for being here for my Tuesday talk, and I hope to talk to you soon. All right, and catch up on all the videos that you've missed to see what other things we've been doing. There's always something that I'm sharing, because I don't want to waste your time by not having anything to present. But I do appreciate you spending your time with me. So y'all have a great night, and keep listening to Gospel Jazz Radio. All right? Go ahead and turn it up a little bit, and I wish you guys a good night. All right, thanks so much.